More oil moving through Wisconsin has firefighters on their toes and spending more time in the classroom. Earlier this month, we told you about a new requirement for rail companies. They have to tell states how much oil they're shipping and when. Tonight, we are hearing from a fire department about its game plan. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Greg Newman has that story.
This fire ignited in Quebec, Canada last summer after a train carrying tanker cars full of crude oil derailed and exploded, killing 47 people and injuring dozens more. That and similar incidents led the U.S. Department of Transportation to say enough is enough earlier this month.
And what it'll mean is railroads that are transporting about 1 million gallons of Bakken oil or light crude oil, which is about 35 cars, will need to report to the state.
To this point, Wisconsin officials could only guess at how much oil rail traffic has increased in recent years.
No, I can't put a number on it, but it has increased exponentially.
Portage sits on a Canadian Pacific line that transports a lot of that crude.
We never know really how much or when it's coming through, but it's all the time.
Of course, a lot of these tracks are in rural areas, but there are plenty that aren't. Many are in very residential neighborhoods just feet from the tracks.
You don't want to get that big one, as we call it.
The Portage Fire Department handles hazmat calls for all of Columbia County, but they don't even have enough foam to put out a fire caused by one tanker car, let alone the several that caused this. However, they will be happy to have more information from the railroads, and because of recent derailments, they're getting more prepared.
Myself and two of our lieutenants are going to go out to Colorado and spend 3 days out there specifically to attend a school that's designed for these crude oil spills up with the railroads.
Eau Claire County's Emergency Management Coordinator Tom Hurley says this new rail order applies to trains transporting more than 1 million gallons of oil, or about 35 cars. He says the largest shipments of Bakken crude typically go south of Eau Claire through La Crosse. Trains that transport crude through our community are typically smaller shipments. Hurley does say they are in the process of putting together a rail training exercise for first responders this fall.